Hey, what's going on, guys? Rotornaut44 coming back at you with another scenery tutorial for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Alright, so on this little short episode here, I want to talk about two things. It's two common mistakes that I see made all the time, mostly by new developers, which there are a ton of now, which is absolutely fantastic, but also by some big name developers that I've seen, or bigger name developers. So just two things I want to address in this video, so hopefully it'll be a shorter one. Looking over Microsoft Flight Simulator here, I have a project opened up. So this is how it's going to look as you first open up one of the projects you've created. This one I have set up to use some of the main items that I would include in my scenery add-on. So I have a model library, a BGL library, material library, and a CGL for aerial imagery. So two things we're going to be focusing on this episode: the model library and the material library. First off, the model library. If you look over here in the inspector window, we're going to see our input path and our output path. So our input path is where our files for this model library are stored. And we can bring this window over here and look at it. This is inside of my package definitions folder, the wrong folder though, so let's jump on over. Temp package, there we go. This is the one we're looking at in this zone. So got my project XML, two folders, package sources, package definitions. We're going to go look inside the package sources, and we have a folder in here called ModelLib. So this is how it would look if you pulled it out of one of the sample files that come with the SDK. So this folder would be labeled as ModelLib. This is currently an issue because the name of this folder determines what the BGL is named when it is compiled. So your model library, if you have one in your package, will be named modellib.bgl, which, with the way that Microsoft is set up with how they mount their add-on packages, and this has been known to cause conflicts from pretty much day one of the simulator. So the first thing we're going to do is rename this ModelLib folder. So I typically name it as my company initial, so ESD. Let's just say Alpha Golf Golf Hotel, so AGGH would be Henderson, Solomon Islands. Model lib, whoops, lib, or something like that. You can name it really whatever you want, but don't use anything like generic. Use something that's going to be different, and there's not really a potential for a conflict with another developer. So that's the first step. Rename that folder. Come back into the simulator here where we have everything loaded in. We're going to go to our model library over here. Though over here in the inspector panel for the input path, we're going to say some scenery, MSFS, package, blah blah blah. I got to navigate through. Click the wrong one. There we go. Okay, so we're inside of this folder now. So we're going to go inside of package sources, click inside of our model library folder that we just renamed, and select folder. Now it's going to bring up an absolute path over here. Before it was a relative path. I haven't tried compiling it before with a absolute path, but as long as you do not move the location of your package, this should not be an issue. You can always go into package definitions, open up this XML in here, and you can edit this to be an absolute path by just taking this from in front of the P in package sources and just deleting all that inside of the XML. The next time you open up the project, it'll just be a relative instead of an absolute. But like I said, as long as you don't move it, it shouldn't be a big deal. Next thing we're going to talk about is materials. So I'm doing this off the top of my mind from memory because I no longer have any of the samples installed that come with the SDK. But I believe it's the path is something like this. It's and it's the output path that we're looking at this time, not necessarily the input. So it should be something close to material libraries / my company. I believe it's my company. It's either my company or my materials, but I think it's my company if I remember right. Either way, it's going to be something generic like that. So that's the second thing, is we need to rename this. We cannot leave this as my company, as it can cause conflicts as well. So we're going to change this to something like, you know, the ICO of the airport you're working on works. So, you know, I'll just say like ICAO materials, something like that. But of course, instead of saying ICAO right here, you're going to actually put your identifier. So we can go and say AGGH, just like I said in the last one. Enter. Never click off, always hit enter, or else that happens apparently now. But yeah, anyways, that's the two main things, and you know, we don't have to do anything else besides that. So just a short recap. We renamed our model library directory here to something custom, so that our BGL is renamed on project export. Updated the input path here in the inspector inside of the project editor. Then for the materials, or the material library, we renamed the export or output path to something custom, so that it's not using a generic name. So that's it. That's the two items I wanted to talk about in this video, is just the model library and material library. So, you know, take a look through your project files, see if these need to be updated. If you see anybody that has a project as well that are making these same mistakes, you know, make sure you drop them a note about it. You know, tell them it can cause conflicts, because this isn't something that's really talked about in the documentation from Adobe or Microsoft. So anyways, hopefully you guys found this tutorial helpful, and as always, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, drop a comment down below. I'll try to get back to them as soon as possible. Unfortunately, YouTube doesn't really tell me when I get comments on my videos anymore, so I really just have to check back in and hope that I see you guys' comments down below. If you guys have any questions about kind of the general structure of this project directory here, go ahead and check out my other video. I'm going to make another video, it'll be right before this video if you go look at my videos. And we'll kind of talk about how to set up the general structure here, and I'll also provide this file directory in that video, so you kind of have another starting point as well. So as always, guys, have a great day, and we'll see you next time.